Play up at the roof garden at least once through the summer. And opening night was always a big night, so we girls had planned, after work we'd take our dresses and go up to the lake. We'd have time to go swimming. On the south side of Okoboji was a swimming beach. So we'll go swimming, and then we can always grab a burger at Bill's Burger Barn and then take a shower and put on our dresses and our dancing shoes. So we had all that stuff ready, and everything went according to Hoyle. And we had to stand in line because it was main band night. And I don't remember now who was playing. It was a little guy, Jimmy Dorsey. No, it was a Dorsey, one of the Dorsey brothers. Anyway, we, being up there early, we got a parking place right in front of the roof garden, so we could sit and watch people coming and going too. And which is what we did for a while. And then we got up and went in, and we picked out a booth along the dance floor. Big dance, every bit as big as our backyard dance floor. It was a big place up there. And the bandstand at one end, and then all around the outside was windows. And outside of that was a balcony area where they had booths and that too. Well, they had booths inside too, but anyway, we walked in and we were looking for a booth along the dance floor because we knew that we'd be sitting part of the night, and we could watch the band too then. And here there was a guy standing out in the middle of the dance floor watching the guys putting their music racks together and getting everything. And it just seemed like there was a light that was just shining right on him. No kidding.
Was there music too, without them playing?
No, there was no music. Just a lot of cussing and the guys trying to get their music stands in place and all that, So anyway, we found our booth, and we were sitting there, and they were starting to warm up. The band was, and when they started playing, why this guy that we saw out in the middle of the floor came over and asked my girlfriend to dance. And I don't remember what she said, but she turned him down.
Oh.
And then he saw me sitting there, and he said, "Well, would you like to dance?" So I was his second choice that night. Yeah. And we never danced with anybody else. We were together the rest of the evening.
How long did it take before you realized you both had the same
Names?
Yeah.
Oh, right away, because that's the first thing you do is introduce yourself. He asked me if I was from around there, and I said, no, I'm from Spencer. Lived down by Spencer on a farm. I said, where are you from? He said, Michigan. I said, well, how did you get here? Well, he says, I'm in the Army, stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas, and I got a buddy that lives in Ruskin, and we came up together. He said I had to see Okoboji. So, after we danced, well, then we went for a walk around up there's a pathway from the Arnold's Park, the amusement park, and up into around the lake. I don't know how far it goes, but there aren't street lights up there, so we turned around and came back, and neither one of us knew where we were walking and didn't want to fall in. So we came back and sat on a bench for a while and watched the steamship come in, the Queen, and unload. He asked me if I wanted to go for a ride on it. I said, no thanks. I said, I know how long that steamship worked up here. I don't want to go out in the lake in that thing.
Yeah.
So we walked around for a while, and then we walked out on the pier, and he picks me up, and he's going to throw me in, and I scream and holler, and people start turning around, and then crazy. Yeah, and then he said he would write to me. He got my address, and that was it for that night. And then, lo and behold, the next morning he called, and we were just getting ready to go out the door. Mom and Dad were going over to visit some friends at Sioux Rapids, and Peter and Marianne were in the car, and I was supposed to go with. And when the phone rang and it was him, why, I said, just a minute, be right back, and I ran out and I told Mother, I said, it's a fella I met last night from the roof garden. He wants to come over and take me for a ride. I said, he wants to talk to you first. So she went in and talked with him. And of course he had that little bit of German accent, and she felt for it too. Oh, fun. Well, she can be home. She can go as long as she's home before it gets dark. I don't remember if I made it or not. I think so.
You must have, because you got to go out again.
Well, this is what Norm said. Gotta take you home, he says, so I can see you again. Oh, it was kind of crazy. We went over to his buddy's house, is where we ended up going that afternoon, and his, they were farmers and lived south of Ruthven. Real nice family. They had a table strung out in that living room, and there must have been 20-some people around it. And here he comes, he and Jerry, his buddy, who lived there. We all came in, and they were serving the dessert at that time. They'd already eaten. But they made room for us to sit at the table, and we got a piece of pie. Nice people. Big family, and of course it was his grandma there, Jerry's grandma, and his aunt and uncle, and then he had a brother and 2 younger sisters, I think it was. It was a big family, but Norm was part of it. I guess, from what I gather, I never did pin him down about it. I gather that Jerry and him were fast buddies and worked together on base. So when the weekend came, Jerry knew he wouldn't be going all the way back to Michigan, so he'd ask him up to the farm, and that's how he got up to the roof garden. And
history was made.
Yeah,